Alright, so these are going to be my 2024-2025 NBA play-in predictions. They start on Tuesday. I'm going to get them out here for you guys right now. Starting off here, we have the Hawks and the Magic. They split the season series 2-2, with the Magic losing this total spread by just 5 points. So pretty even there in the regular season. This game will be in Orlando, so that definitely gives Orlando the edge there. But overall, I think it's definitely going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down overall to star power. I mean, both teams have some injuries they're dealing with, right? Orlando's missing Jalen Suggs and Mo Wagner. Atlanta is missing Clint Capella and Larry Nance. So, again, I think it's going to come down to star power. Orlando obviously has Paolo Banchero, while Atlanta has Trae Young. And now, just out of those two guys, Trae Young definitely has more experience in the postseason. Even though this technically isn't the postseason, it's still this postseason environment, right? Trae Young has more experience there. He has more experience taking over games. So I do think Atlanta comes out of this and does get up the minor upset here as the 8 seed, be in the 7 seed Orlando Magic to end up being the 7 seed in the playoffs, which would make them go up against the Boston Celtics. Next up is the other 7-8 matchup with the Grizzlies and the Warriors. The Warriors being the 7 seed and being at home here. They won the season series 3-1, but they actually lost the spread by 29 points. They got beat by about 50 in that one loss. So, yeah, that was more than enough to make up for the spread that they won the first 3 games. But overall, they still did win the season series. That's all that really matters. The point spread isn't too important, right? This game probably is going to be very close again. I think most of these playing games should be fairly close. That's kind of the idea. That's what you hope for, at least. Warriors, I don't believe have any injuries to worry about. The Grizzlies, of course, without Brandon Clark, also without Jalen Wells, who got injured about a week ago, had to get stretchered off the court. Obviously, sad injury, but they are dealing with that. So that probably makes me lean in the Warriors' direction here a little bit. They also definitely have the star power, right? The experience and the coaching, right? So I think pretty much all signs are going to be pointing to the Golden State Warriors winning this game, being the 7th seed and going up against the Houston Rockets, which is a fairly favorable matchup here for the Warriors as the 7th seed. Moving on, we got the 9 and 10 matchup between the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. The Bulls are the home team here. They went 3-0 in the season series, and they have a plus 22 point differential. So, definitely a good sign there, right? Also, you could say the Heat are definitely primed to get their win against the Bulls this time. These are, certainly more important games than the 7 and 8 seeds because this is a win or go home environment. 7 and 8 seeds, if you lose, you still have a second chance. This game is a win or go home environment, 100%. With that said, the Heat definitely have a better experience in that aspect, right? Most of these Bulls players were not played an actual playoff game, or at least gone far in the playoffs. Most of the C team has experience of going to the NBA Finals, not once but even twice. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, probably the best 2 players in this entire series. Both those guys have played in the finals twice. Right? Eric Spoelstra obviously has finals experience. Andrew Wiggins has won a championship. So the Heat have all the experience on their side in here, and I think they have the best 2 players in this game. They have the better coach. I'm going to take Miami Heat to win this game. Next up is the Mavericks at the Kings. Kings won the season series 3-0, plus 35 point differential. And again, this is a winner go home environment. The Kings have, a lot of guys who have playing experience. I mean, the Kings haven't had a whole lot of postseason experience just in general. They made the postseason once, but that was a couple years ago. Some of these guys aren't there. But a lot of these guys do have at least some postseason experience, right? Zach LaVine's been in the playoffs before. DeMar DeRozan has plenty of experience. Domantas Sabonis, plenty of postseason experience as well. So I think both teams have a lot of experience. Obviously, Dallas does with Anthony Davis and Klay Thompson both, of course, winning a ring before the Mavericks. Obviously, were in the finals a year ago. Definitely a good amount of playoff experience, I think, from both sides. The Mavericks have the championship experience, right, with AD and Klay Thompson, but I do think Sacramento has a more well-rounded roster here with Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Domantas Sabonis. So I actually am going to pick Sacramento here to win this game and knock Dallas out of the playoffs. That would make Sacramento have to go up against the Memphis Grizzlies. Now for the matchup here in the East, for the battle of the 8 seed here between the Heat and the Magic. The Magic won the overall spread by 19 points. It was a 2-2 split even matchup there, but the Magic did win the point spread, so they have that going for them. They're also the 7th seed, while the Heat are the 10th seed, as far as standings go. So obviously they have the advantage there. They are the home team, but it's going to kind of be a similar matchup to where it was with Atlanta, right? Atlanta has had a little bit more postseason experience than Orlando. Miami's definitely had more postseason experience than Orlando as well. I think Orlando probably has the best player in Paolo Banchero, but Miami has Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, who are, in my opinion, both better than any other guy on Orlando. Again, Miami has plenty of postseason experience with all those guys, right? Andrew Wiggins, of course, winning the ring, like I already had mentioned earlier. This is going to be a very, very close game, I think. It's going to be a very, very fun game. But overall, I actually am going to pick the Miami Heat as the 10th seed to upset the 7th seed and make the playoffs as an 8th seed. I do think that would be the first time a 10th seed has made the postseason, and a 7th seed has missed the postseason. So, interesting storyline to look out for there. And then we got the Kings and Grizzlies as the last play-in game. Grizzlies lost the season series 1-2 and had a -10 point differential. So the signs would point in the Kings' favor just based on their regular season history. But obviously, that is not, that's not a be-all, tell-all, whatever the saying is. That just because they won the season series doesn't mean they're going to win the playoff game, right? But it's definitely going to be a very, very big game. Something to note is that the Grizzlies, fired Taylor Jenkins only a few weeks ago, but also the Kings, fired their head coach a couple months ago as well. So both have relatively new head coaches, mid-season to these teams. Obviously, that is something to look forward to for this matchup, right? But I think personally, it's going to come down to star power. Both teams have a very good big three, right? Grizzlies with Ja, Desmond Bane, and Jaren Jackson. The Kings, of course, have Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis, and DeMar DeRozan. It's going to be a very fun game. Both teams have a good amount of playoff experience with those stars, at least. Grizzlies obviously have more continuity. This Kings team, Zach LaVine's been here for 2 months, so Grizzlies have more chemistry. Coaching is kind of up in the air, but overall, I'm going to take Memphis Grizzlies as the 8th seed to go on and win this game and be the actual 8th seed against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check back after the play-in for my official playoff prediction video, and goodbye.